2024. A great year for some, a bad year for some, but for me, it was truly extraordinary. Allow me to explain. You see, I was never the best at things. I was unfit, I had no big dreams, and I didn't really have a real hobby to pursue. Now cut back to 2024. I started dreaming big. I started hitting the gym. And also, I have multiple hobbies to pursue like arm wrestling, photography, and even content creation. As for the dream, I wanted to become an online entrepreneur. Along the way, the dreams of building a personal brand and a YouTuber came along as well. But things have not been easy at all. At all. Not comparing with other people was difficult. Overcoming stress was hard. Many times I was just wondering, should I just give up on this dream? But I stuck with it. Right, enough yapping. Let's actually go through a year of an average boy living in Singapore. January to March, 3 months of change. Don't understand? Let me explain. At the start of this year, nothing changed except one thing. And what was that? I decided to start working out. And no, this does not mean going to the gym. At that point of time, I was too insecure going to the gym. So this meant push-ups. I did 3 to 5 push-ups per set. And each day, I'm making a goal to do at least 50 push-ups. This carried on for 2 months or so. And during this period, I even went to Bali with my family and I organized a trip. The first 3 months flew by and things seemed to go smoothly, don't they? Well, let me tell you, it was not smooth. In fact, it was terrible. I did terribly for my studies, so terrible in fact that my average score was just nice above the passing mark. So I decided to change. And that brings us on to the next phase of the year and the next phase of me. During this period of time, one other thing happened. I decided to put in more effort in my studies and become a top scorer. Now you could call this motivation, but it did carry out for months to come. And also, my weight dropped. This happened partially because of all those cardio I've been doing. I was in fact walking 15 km daily for a month straight, and during that month, my weight dropped from 81 kg to 76 kg. That's crazy, right? And not only this, my study also improved. For the first time ever, I only had 1 C across all the various subjects. But I was still nowhere near where I wanted to be in studies. Although I was not satisfied, I was definitely no one to say I deserve better grades. But this is not the main point. What I want to share is the beginning of all of this. The epiphany moment. As I recall, that was the middle of May where I had an aspiration of becoming an online entrepreneur. And since then, it all began. Now, I wouldn't share this in depth as I sadly do not have the time for that. You can check out my entrepreneurship summary video, which I'll link it down in the description below. And during that period of time, I did not have access to a single gym. And for that stage of me, I was guilty and I feared of losing all the gains which I have made. And now I know that's not how it works. As for the entrepreneur side of me, I had no idea what business venture I wanted to tap in. After all, I just began. And the holidays just flew by. Then came 14 days of holidays left in Singapore. And in that period, I bought multiple online courses and online softwares which costed me hundreds of dollars. And after attending all of them, I'm about to give my best advice I have ever gave in this video, period. The best form of education is through books. No course can beat a good book in the amount of knowledge you will acquire. But of course, this doesn't mean that courses are bad. They are also very valuable. Now, fast forward to somewhere around August. I made a second major decision of life. And that is to make a YouTube channel, which proved to be one good choice I made this year. But this came with a huge cost. A cost so big that many a time I wondered to myself, is this actually worth it? During this period of time, it was also my birthday, so I got a mic as a gift. And if you know me, I value things a lot. And there's one clear incident in mind which I remember. I dropped the mic on the floor, and because of this small incident, my whole emotions were ruined for the day, and I could not even do any work at all, and I was frustrated, complaining about everything that day. And this leads me to my next point, which is the period of my mental breakdown from June to November, 5 months. It really hurts a lot to like it's gonna pull down my whole average. I could clearly remember the nights where I was crying in the room alone as I was just so frustrated and did not know why I was so frustrated. But now, of course, I know the reason. And back then, I'm guessing it was because of all the pressure I've been putting on myself, and with that extra burden of creating content, I just couldn't stand it. And whenever I was not being productive, the sense of guilt eats me. And this carried on for long. Every nook and cranny would annoy me so much that the day is ruined. And I did not know the cause for the longest time until recently. I now know how to solve it, but that's for another video to say. So stay tuned for that video. Back to the point. I was frustrated and couldn't focus on my goals. And the days where I felt slightly better, the pressure of EOY, which is end of year exams, started to hit in. And all of this caused me to feel worse and worse. I have to force myself to say what I'm really thinking, so it's really helpful. Within this 6-month period, I went to Johor Bahru and was very frustrated that I could not stay productive. And I've always been seeking the reason why I'm frustrated. And I guess the reason I'm frustrated might be the reason a lot of people is frustrated too, and they might not even know about it. So I might share with y'all, but again, that's for another video. Soon, the exams was over and I was free. Or was I? Then came the 50-day grind, which I made like 20 videos about, so you can go check them out yourself. And let me give you a brief summary of it. During this 50-day grind, I rarely went out. I was just working on self-improvement. And although I did an amazing job of creating videos, I got nothing done about my business venture, and my emotions were not the best, to be speaking of the truth. And today, I am lucky to have the chance to train with him. Let's get to it. And during this period of time, I got into arm wrestling, where I created quite a lot of videos and friends, and my life was finally starting to go uphill after 5 months. And soon after, I went to China to visit my grandparents for 1 full month. And during this period of time, I only edited 3 videos and contacted suppliers for my business. And if it was the June to October me, I'll be frustrated of how little I've done and completed this holiday. But due to the secret I wanted to share in a future video, I felt great. In the days after coming back from a trip, which is now, I feel even better, and I still have decent productivity, which is great. And now, finally, after sharing my year, let's talk about my improvements. First of all, my study average went from 55% to 70%, which is huge. My max bench went from 40 kg for 1 rep to 45 kg for 12 reps. And I am more open now. I feel better, I seem better, and I'm more comfortable going up to strangers and talking to them. It feels more and more fun going out with friends. And in fact, let me share a short story with you. I have a relative which is rather successful in the business world, and for the first time around, I sat there with someone I did not know beforehand and chatted 2 hours about business. One of the greatest feats I've accomplished this year. So, 2024 is a year of change. An amazing year. But looking ahead, what about 2025? 2025 to me should be a year where I first taste success, but of course, there will be failure too. I'm not speaking millions of dollars in success, but speaking success in terms of fitness goals, communication skills, YouTube content creation, and of course, the projects which I have been working on. Now, let's set some goals. I wish to be 70 kg by 2025. I wish to see abs in 2025. I wish to bring my family on vacation on 2025. I wish to get an average of 75% for my studies in 2025. And lastly, I wish to read 26 books in 2025. And I have so much more goals and wishes which I will not be sharing here. So after listening to my year and goals, I think it's time for you to reflect your year and think about the year ahead.